Hey, welcome to video 3 of the 3 keys towards a slim and sexy body. This is Angus and I'm really excited to share with you today our third and final key, which is focusing on mindset when it comes to building a kick-ass slim and sexy body. I really hope you've enjoyed the past 2 videos, ladies. It's heavily critical that you put your focus towards training in the right areas and nutrition, just in other words, leaving the old mindset of clean eating and stuff like that, and really just enjoying and implementing the overall flexibility that flexible nutrition entails you. Seriously, it's so amazing, and I'm really excited to hear of how you go with actually implementing these things in your life. So kicking off in terms of our focus with mindset being one of these 3 keys is the fact that a lot of people often leave this as something which is just deemed as unnecessary or just a waste of time or something they don't need to do in terms of being able to actually achieve fat loss. So remember that when it comes to your health and fitness and also life in general, your mindset is everything. So the reason being there is because your mindset will dictate your overall perspective upon life, your belief systems, your self-confidence and things like that, which will then affect your overall thought process, which will then affect your actions. And obviously because, let's say for instance, your mindset is negative and just full of self-doubt, and you really struggle to make decisions and just keep yourself consistent, well then this is obviously going to mean negative actions, which are a different path towards your actual goals, which is over here, which will then result in a negative outcome. So we want to make sure that right at the beginning and right at the very core that your mindset is rooted upon success and upon positivity, so therefore the ripple effect is just positive, 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 optimistic, 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 certainty, certain, certainty, and therefore thus creating the best results possible. So what often happens is that the reason why I see so many people failing is because not only are they putting their time and effort towards the wrong things, but because their mindset is still in the gutter. They're used to, I guess, their old self when they first started. They may be conditioned to failure, and they may be just somewhere in the back of their subconscious, they're still sort of having that mindset that how they are is how they're going to stay. They might fear, or maybe this applies to you, you may actually fear success and actually really for once getting towards where you want to be. Maybe you fear how that will change your life. Maybe you fear change. Maybe you're just too stuck in your comfort zone. But regardless, when it comes to actually kicking off an actual proper transformation, you need to make sure that you're beginning with the end in mind. So what I mean by that is the lifestyle that you're building for yourself and how you're getting there needs to be equivalent to how you're starting off. So in other words, diets and stuff like that, short-term gimmick things and whatever, these are not any means to be able to live in the long term, so therefore you should not be doing them in the short term. We really need to make sure that you are rooted upon who you know you're going to become, and then just making sure that right from the beginning you're taking steps forward towards making that actually happening. So one of the things you want to make sure is that when it comes to fat loss and applying those other keys and just making your transformation actually kick ass, is that we want to make sure that every single day you are operating from your best self, because if you're not, then you're operating subpar, which means that you're sort of just comsi-com-sa, willy-nilly, and therefore not giving it your best effort, and therefore you're not going to be incredibly consistent towards actually taking action, which will thus affect the overall result. So we want to make sure that in order to be operating at your best self, you need to make sure that you're starting your day determined and doing a few certain things, and then finishing your day in a state of satisfaction. And by that, what we're pretty much doing is that every single day we're focusing on mini wins, we're focusing on nailing the basics, we're focusing on the actual action that we're taking, because that's what we have complete control over, knowing that as we're being consistent with that each day, the results will take care of themselves. So rather than just being fixated on the results and focusing on things we can't control and just being a stress head, this is where a lot of people are I guess, experiencing setbacks, and it is just a really self-sabotaging habit. So we want to make sure that in terms of starting out our day, really just make sure that you're getting yourself into a positive state. So there's some means that you can do this. You can get into things like meditation, or you can do what I do, which is rock out an actual set morning ritual. So what I like to do is I have a small song where it's just sort of meditation type music. It puts me into a state of gratitude where I'm just pretty much just expressing thanks to the universe for what's happening in my life, family, friends, clients, things like that. And just really sort of just get in a state of gratitude and thanks for where you're currently at. And then from there I move into like a short song of just intensity where I'm practicing self-affirmations. So various sentences would start with I am. So for example, something you can maybe say to yourself is I am beautiful, I am worthy of happiness, my past does not dictate my future. Various sentences which I am statements mean that you're affirming to yourself that you are those certain things and that you are worthy of those actual things that you're saying to yourself. You can either be doing that sitting down, or you can do it like I like to do, where I like to do maybe some burpees or some sprints or just some sort of intense sort of physical activity just to really emphasize what I'm doing. and then after that finish back into an actual state of gratitude again, but focusing on various elements of that. So being thankful for how I know my future is going to be, what I'm working towards, and just really sort of you'll just experience such a massive mindset shift, because this enables you to be able to operate at your best self. And then from here you'll find that because you put yourself into that state of gratitude, you're going to find that things like fear and doubt cannot exist within your actual mind, because you've just sort of built that actual mindset within you for that day. And then obviously what you'll do there is that you'll flow through in that state throughout the day. If you find yourself that you're feeling a bit stuck, or that you're just sort of feeling a bit flat or whatever, pull out your affirmations again, do it, or put in your actual music to enable you to get back into that zone again. And then come the end of the day, we want to make sure that you're doing just the actual gratitude sort of part of it, and just be thankful to the universe for how your day went and the mini wins which you actually achieved. Because remember that, let's say for instance your aim is to achieve 4 mini wins per day. This then adds up to 7 fours, which is 28, okay? And then if we work that into a month, 28 times 4 is about 120 odd wins, and you can begin to see, like when we're focusing on that sort of aspect, think how many thousands of wins you're going to have achieved across a year. Absolutely massive. So it's a bit of that change in mindset and a slight change in perspective, which is going to make all the difference towards how you apply yourself and your overall results which you're going to get. And one thing I just want to drill in from what I've said so far within this video, ladies, is just to make sure that you are focusing on what you can control. So it's so easy to just sort of get lost in the moment and focusing on things that we have no control over, because when you are someone that does that, what that then means is that you're wasting energy on things that are just sort of useless and that you have no actual real control over. Yeah. So know that things that you have control over, I say the things that you say, your actions, your decisions. Things you don't have control over are things like the weather, traffic, what other people say to you, things like that. You've always got opportunity to respond to situations rather than react. Okay, and you'll find that when you're in your peak state, you're going to be able to respond to situations so much better. When you're in your peak state, you're going to be able to make a heck of a lot better food decisions. You're going to be consistent with your exercise. You're going to become the best version of you. And then as you're applying those things and these other few keys which we've chatted about so far in terms of training and nutrition and this mindset stuff, it's just going to mean that you're able to then really experience a transformation from the inside out, because your mindset has changed. You're nourishing your cells through the food that you're eating and stuff like that. Remember that when it comes to our actual flexible nutrition, you're still eating probably about 70 or so % clean. The rest of it is coming from food that you like and whatever you feel like. So you can implement alcohol, you can go to lunch, you can go to parties and things like that. By all means, when it comes to training, you're enjoying weight training, your stimulation, your muscles, you're working hard, you're progressing. You can begin to see when we put all these things together, this is where successful, slim and sexy bodies are built, not skinny fat bodies where someone has just been getting there through a restrictive nightmare. So remember that the key is sustainability. The key focus is on just nailing these things. I really hope that you've taken some massive take homes from what I've shared with you in this mini video series. And I encourage you that if you are someone who is dead set serious about actually just powering yourself towards the best version that you deserve to be, remember that the power is in the implementation. So often people get into things like this, or they download maybe a free resource off the internet or something like that, and then we all know that it gets stored on the shelf or it gets saved somewhere in our computer and we never look at it. So in order to make sure that doesn't happen, and to make sure that this is something that you can just actually apply in your life, what I encourage you to do is to click below and you can apply to actually work with myself. We're going to have a complete obligation-free chat. I just want to see exactly where you're at, and so that I can see exactly how I can help you to just supercharge yourself towards your success. Because who likes going through long-term pain without any gain? Yeah, we want to make sure this is a short-term pain in favor of long-term gain. I want to show you exactly how to do it. I'm going to teach you beyond what I've taught you so far in this series, and really just hammer you towards the exact happiness and your dream body which you deserve to be at. I'm truly thankful for your time in watching these videos, and I really look forward to speaking with every single one of you who are taking action towards actually clicking below and seeking to have a chat with me. But until next time, ladies, see you later.